This is gonna be a pretty fast one. Now, it's supposed to be a song day, right? And so that's why that's there. That's why there's a guitar in the picture. But very recently, like, this is kind of another impromptu thing, but again, if I'm just sharing my thoughts, and then this is what I was thinking about, and this is the song that's been stuck in my head for kind of a while now. But I can't really play the song, not the way that I think it sounds good, which is by the original artist. It just wouldn't, even, if I could sing as high as they do and everything, but it just wouldn't fit with just one guy on a guitar, just to me. And so I think it would be cool to just, that you can go listen to the song. So I'm gonna tell you what the song is. Stop the video, go listen to it, and then come back like normal, and then I'm gonna talk about things for a little bit. So the song is called Tomorrow. It's by the Winans, Winans. So go listen to it. Pause this, go listen to it, and come back. Okay, so you should have listened to the song by now. If you haven't, you have to go listen to the song. Maybe you liked the music style and everything, maybe you didn't, but as I always say, it's the lyrics and the message of the song that is what's important to me. And the same thing goes for my songs too. So obviously I didn't write this song, and you can understand why it would be difficult for me to do it, But very recently I was reading more about philosophy, and in particular Pascal, and he presents sort of the similar idea that I did about how, like, we die eventually and life keeps going on, and we have to make a decision whether we follow God or not follow God. And there's been a sort of this, he calls it a wager. And so the wager is about the existence of God or God not existing. So it's atheism and theism. And then, of course, normally people would say, well, there's atheism, there's theism, and then there's agnosticism, which is to say that you couldn't know. There's no point in trying to go either way. And Pascal suggests that, well, actually, you have to choose, because you're gonna die one day. He said, it's like if Romeo proposes to Juliet, and she says, oh, let me think about it. And he comes back day after day after day, and she keeps saying, let me think about it, or I'm gonna think about it, I'm gonna think about it. Eventually, there's gonna be a day that he's not gonna come and ask her, because he's dead. And the let me think about it is gonna be a no, because he's dead. And there's no chance for the marriage to happen. With the stakes that are, with the things that are at stake, with the existence of God or the non-existence of God, or ultimately, at this point, from the things that we've been talking about, following God or not following God, then it just makes more sense to follow God because of what you're offered. And I've heard it said eternity is a long time to be wrong, and I think I've mentioned it before, but even if God doesn't exist, even if Christianity is not true, then at least I've tried to live a good life. At least I've I've had a purpose, you know, in things, but the realities of it are too apparent to say that it doesn't exist. The joy and the peace and the hope and that purpose that comes with it is not, it's not blind, it's not just wishful. It really isn't. And so it you know, like we've talked about before, it just makes me all the more eager to want to continue on that path. And so, like the song said, you know, you can only go so long holding that off and following the illicit pleasures that you might have without God, quote unquote. But life is worth so much more when you do have Him. There is so much more pleasure to be had with Him. And it's just Pascal's whole thing is like, atheism just makes no sense. It's a horrible bet to, you know, if you want to think about it as a bet, to bet on atheism. And agnosticism is impossible because you're gonna die one day, so might as well. And that's sort of just like the argument, and it only, you know, there's a lot of other details in there that make it a little more than just a 50-50 idea, but it's just, that song has been stuck in my head, and I really love that song. It's one of the few songs that I actually enjoy. You know, that's not, you know, I hate to sound like arrogant about it, but like, I enjoy very few songs that I didn't write. You know, I enjoy very few songs that are out there these days. And I say very few, like, you know, dozens compared to the millions that are out there. I don't know if there are millions, but there might as well be. But it's just, that's what I've been thinking about, and I can't play this song, so like I said, I thought it would be cooler if you could just hear it from them, and you know, I kind of like the music in that song. I like their, you know, that style and the way that they harmonize and everything. But anyway, there is an indefinite, an undetermined, unbeknownst amount of time that we have left here, and the very reality of tomorrow is not promised, is not a sure. You know, how the saying goes, as sure as the sun is going to rise tomorrow. Well, it might just not for you. It might just not for me. And so we gotta make a decision. There's no, there's not a 100% chance that you can be on your deathbed in the hospital and know that you're gonna die soon, and then you can make the decision to accept God's sacrifice for you. And though that may seem appealing to go about your every whit in this life, and then just make that last minute decision, your one-way ticket out of hell, basically, or one-way ticket into heaven, however you want to think about it. Though that may seem appealing, it's kind of not. It's kind of not compared to what life could be with God, what life could be with a godly fence around you, whether that be the people that you surround yourself with, or the striving that you have in terms of knowledge and, you know, studying the Bible, who God is and everything. And that's especially with the days that we're in now, the way that the world is moving, that tomorrow very well might be today is a lot closer than it was 20 years ago, obviously. But Jesus is coming back. And gosh, do I fall short of that surrender a lot, but He is faithful and just to forgive us and cleanse us of all unrighteousness if we just ask for it. What a cool guy. Never leaves. Never stops waiting, knocking at the door. If anyone hears and opens, I will come in and dine with him, which in the Jewish culture was very significant in the first century. To eat somebody with somebody was a sign of intimacy, of very personal connection, very meaningful connection. That was in Revelation, that passage, that what I was just talking about. Another thing that came up this week, but yeah, a little different today. But I had a guitar, and so it still counts, right? Because I always have a guitar in the days that I play a song, so it still counts. But but anyway, I'm holding the camera. That's why it keeps moving around. This is just a new thing, but that's all. That's all, folks.